Good morning. Happy Monday. Uh-oh, Kurt,
And
I can't.
Jen,
Oh, there you are. I was like, I can't hear you.
can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay. I think everybody else could hear me. It is the Curt and Jen Morning Podcast. Here we are Monday morning. It is July 22nd. Who cares, right? It's the summertime, July 22nd.
And Kurt is hurting for certain.
Yeah, it's been a great weekend here. I'm in San Diego, supporting my lovely wife Dana and her nonprofit. She's the executive director of Soaring Spirits.org, which, by the way, I should say there's not a whole lot of support options for there's not as many support options for widows, particularly younger widows, as there should be. So Soaring Spirits was started to sort of help out as a peer-to-peer group of widows of all ages. I mean, I've met people here from the age of 22 up to 70, and it really is, if you know somebody who is in that situation where they've had somebody pass, it's a great support group, and feel free to look into it, soaringspirits.org. They've got
It's
millions
men
of
and
people
women,
worldwide.
right? Men and
Yes,
women
yes, there's
can be
widowers
part
as well. So
of. Okay.
fantastic
Okay.
people. So we spent the whole weekend here. We do these conferences. They call it Camp Widow. They do it 3 times a year, and San Diego is this time. So I come down because all I know how to do is push buttons and talk into microphones. So I play music for a gala on Saturday night, which is fantastic, a great dance and weekend, but it is also exhausting. And there may have been some alcohol last night, so I'm
And a,
trying to keep up with
a
Jen.
mariachi band too.
That was funny. We went and saw, it was this outdoor venue, in I believe it's uh, for some reason I thought we were going to Little Italy, but we ended up in this area with a bunch of Spanish and Mexican places, and there was an outdoor mariachi band, and I was thinking I should be a smart ass and just yell "Free Bird," but I didn't. But they played it anyway.
Awesome.
We're sitting there I'm having my burrito, and all of a sudden Freebird comes on from this mariachi band. They did a nice job on it, so I didn't have to be a smart ass, and they still played the song.
Jeez, Kurt.
That was the
Uh,
weekend, yeah. How about
and
you?
then you fly home today.
You fly home today. Yes, I'm looking
All right.
forward to getting back. Have you guys had great weather, or has it just been so-so?
Yesterday was partly cloudy. Like there was a lot of cloud cover, but it burned off by evening, so the evening was good.
All right.
Okay. So, well, safe travels to you home. Hopefully all the computers and the network stay
Oh,
up and
gee, what a
running.
mess that was. Yeah.
It was a huge mess this weekend. Um, let's see, this weekend, so Kurt, since you
Hmm.
were gone, you're usually my pickleball partner. Pat came
Oh,
out and played with me against Lori and Glenn.
oh, good.
And we decided, Lori and I had decided, really me, said, Lori, we should play against the guys, only the guys should play left-handed. So,
Why do the guys have to have any kind of a handicap?
well, because they would cream us, as you know, if we played regular, like me and like guys against girls. Lori and I will someday be as good as you guys, we hope.
I
But
think you're way better than you give
even
yourself credit for, but
even left-handed, they kicked our ass.
well, your boyfriend, your firefighter boyfriend Pat is very, very good, and he's fast and he's fit, and he's willing to dive for, to hit the pickleball. I'm not willing to dive.
He
Sorry.
doesn't even really dive. He just keeps his hand on his hip and just hits the ball because he's that good. He just hits, he gets to the net and just like bam, bam, bam.
The hand on the hip thing is pretty funny, as you just demonstrated. He's just standing there like
Yeah, like
it's a
no
little
big
insulting,
deal.
actually, isn't
Well,
it? All right, so we'll be back, and we'll be back to regular partners for pickleball here, starting tomorrow, right?
yeah. So I went to the Crow Bar. You know, it's my favorite bar.
Hmm.
And I just have to mention this because, first of all, Cameron says hello, the bartender, our
He's a
favorite
good guy,
bartender
Cameron.
says
Hi
hello.
back.
I met a gal named Dorothy who, on the spot, well, because Cameron was also promoting our podcast for us, but she's like, "You have a podcast?" And so she downloaded it right then and there. Like,
Nice.
so hello to Dorothy. Welcome to the podcast. We love that you're a new
Yeah,
listener. And then longtime listener Brent. Do you remember Brent from Issaquah?
absolutely, Brent. He was
So
he was
he,
not only a long time listener, he also won several prizes on Star 101.5.
so he reached out and because he and his wife got COVID or his wife got COVID, I can't remember how that went down. And so he couldn't go to Hootie and the Blowfish over the weekend at White River Amphitheater and
Hmm.
offered me and you his tickets.
And I was gone. Did you go?
I did not go because I already had plans. But He didn't even know we had a podcast.
Oh,
So now
well,
he knows
people
and
are
now
finding
he's
out.
listening. Hi, Brent.
Let
Help us spread the word to all the people.
let me
Please.
say something that I would have liked to have seen that show. But this is going to sound like a diss, but it is so, and I think you feel the same way. It's so difficult to get into and out of
White
White River.
River.
I think the last show I saw there, this is how far back it's going. I believe the last show I saw at White River was No Doubt came through with Alanis Morissette
Ooh,
as the
that'd be
opener.
a good
And
one.
it was a while ago because it was when Alanis was dating Ryan Reynolds. Remember that she for the while they were the couple for a while.
I don't remember that.
So that's so here and literally, so Ryan Reynolds was well again, this is before I think he was obviously the Ryan Reynolds he is now. Because this had to be 15 years ago, 10 years ago. I
Probably
mean,
more.
I'm losing track of time. Yeah. So it was a good show, but I just wish there was an easier way. There's one way in and one way out.
I've never been, Curt. For that
Oh, to
reason,
White
I've
River. It's
never
tough.
ever been to White River Amphitheater for a
But
show because of that.
the horror stories you hear about getting into and out of the gorge,
Yeah.
um, apparently pale to getting into
Oh.
White River. So anyway, but they do get some great concerts. So pack your patience and go see some good shows.
And then for the first time ever in my whole life, I'm pretty sure it's the first time ever in my whole life because I would remember it. I went to a gender reveal party.
What was the method that they did the gender reveal?
Those powder, those powder gun things or cannon things, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Good. Then, and that's pretty common, and that's okay. It doesn't start forest fires. Let's just put it that way. That's
Yeah.
the one yeah, that was bad news. But
So it was for Pat, firefighter Pat's son, oldest son Anthony, and his wife Sierra are pregnant.
oh,
And we found out that Pat is going to be a grandpa to a girl. He's
of
going to have a
course, you're
little
thrilled about that.
granddaughter.
You saw the pink dust. You're like, oh, this is perfect. Which I
I
think is funny because if it was blue, you wouldn't go, this is terrible.
As soon as you got there, you had to do two things. You had to pick a color of clothespin to pin it on you to signify what you believed the baby was going to be. And I picked
Okay.
pink. I wore pink and I picked pink. And then you
Well, it
had to go
worked.
on video. This is the big, like, social media trend for gender reveals. You go on and you have to say, like, kind of your relationship to the baby and then
Right.
what you think it's going to be. So I had to say, I'm the grandpa to be's girlfriend, and I think it's a girl. And then Macy was there too, and she said, I'm the daughter of the girlfriend of the grandpa to be.
That's sounding like two or three times removed. The daughter of the girlfriend of the grandpa to be.
Anyway,
All
it was
right.
just, it's an exciting time. I mean, it's just, anyone that is pregnant and getting ready to
Right.
welcome
Well,
a little
congratulations
miracle. Yeah.
to Anthony
And
and
Sarah. Yeah.
Sierra. Yeah. All right.
Big stuff over the weekend.
Yeah, I was surprised last night because it's been so busy here. When we have these get-togethers, there's about 400 people, and we're all here at the Marriott, by the marina in San Diego. And I was surprised with it, as busy as it is. And you've done events before where you were in charge, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
Um, we had somebody last night we wrapped up the day and we went to the restaurant and everything, came back here and we were just talking about it. It's like, so I wonder, um, what's going to go on with Biden dropping out. And say, oh my God, President Biden dropped. This is like at almost midnight, and they still hadn't heard, which is how busy we've been. However, that was huge news that President Biden said yesterday he's not seeking reelection, as a lot of people have been suggesting maybe, you're not as with it as he used to be mentally. And so he is the first sitting president to drop out since Lyndon Johnson in 1968, so 50 odd years ago. And so
Wow.
far, of course, the first question is, well, who's going to be the Democratic presidential nominee? And Biden has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris
Mm-hmm.
to replace him. But that's not the final word on it. Nothing will be official on that until the Democratic National Convention. That's August 19th in Chicago, and we'll find out for sure. Like they just did at the Republican National Convention, we'll find out for sure who's going to be the Democratic candidate. Hmm. We shouldn't say how we feel about that. I mean, because we try to stay out of politics. So there's the information as far as, everybody's like, what do you think is a good idea for him to keep running or drop out? It's like everybody has their own opinion on that. But overall, in my opinion, it seems like this was the right option.
Right. Yes.
I mean, you got to be able to, if you really aren't, I mean, in anything, if you're, on a football team and you're like, I'm not up to playing or whatever, and I can't help the team as like I used to, then maybe it's
It
time.
they're saying it was very patriotic for him to step down from
Yeah,
the nomination and or seeking reelection, I should say.
right.
And yeah, I mean he did his thing for the 4 years that he was there, and
And
hopefully
well,
they
good.
can come up with a good plan. That's
So
what
been
I
thrown
hope.
around, Governor Gretchen, is it not Wilson, Gretchen? Oh, God, I suck. I just had it on my head. Anyway, Whitaker. Anyway, sorry. From Michigan, and Gavin Newsom, governor of California, have been thrown out as possible names. Pete Buttigieg as well. So we'll see. We'll see what
Oh,
happens.
he's back in it. Okay.
Now, from that big news to this much lesser news.
Really, seriously, we're talking about who's going to run our country next, and now we're going to talk about some cereal from a couple football players.
Which maybe they could run the country too. Who knows? Of course, we all know Travis Kelce, as he is the boyfriend of Taylor
Taylor
Swift. And
Swift.
before that, he was well known as um, the football player, and his brother Jason. So Travis and Jason Kelce have teamed up with General Mills to have their own cereal,
Called the Kelsey mix.
the Kelce mix. Technically, as you read, this is not like a new flavor, which is great because he's like,
What
this
is
mix
it,
of
Curt?
cereal
Just
tastes
tell us
like the
what it
Kelce
is.
Brothers.
Just tell us
It
what it
is a
is.
mix of their three favorite cereals: Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms, and Reese's Puffs. I know you're going to have an opinion on that.
Oh my
I see your face if you're watching the
God.
video cast. It's going to be in stores in September again. The Kelce Mix cereal from General Mills is a mix of their three favorite cereals, which is Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms, and Reese's Puffs. That
Here's
sounds like
the
a weird
thing. Let
combination.
me just say this.
Yeah,
I love all of those cereals
individually.
individually.
Yep, yep,
I don't want to have cinnamon and sugar with peanut butter and then some marshmallows mixed in.
right. Or in the case of the Reese's Puffs, it'd be like mixing Fruit Loops and Count Chocula. I mean, is
No,
that a good combination of chocolate and the fruity?
I don't. Well,
And
they don't really have
keep
fruity mixed in though. I mean, so you know what? Here's the thing. Maybe it
Lucky
could be
Charms is
good.
fruity, isn't it?
No, is it? I don't think so.
Green hearts, blue moons, da da da, whatever
Those
it
are
is.
just marshmallows.
All right.
I mean, maybe it
But
could
if
be
people don't know
good.
this, Jen has very strong opinions on her cereals.
Well, I have a very strong opinions on. I
Everything.
was gonna say anything I put in my mouth. Let's just move on.
So yeah, so September you'll be able to buy the Kelsey mix, Jason and Travis Kelsey cereal.
Uh, okay,
Yeah,
so
I hesitate here because this is a story you found, and I want you to explain to me what this is.
well, I'm gonna kind of learn as we go along. So there's this new thing on TikTok apparently that's fluffy Coke, and it only got my attention because I love marshmallow fluff, and I
So say
also
that
have
again.
it
It's called Fluffy
fluffy
Coke.
Coke. And I
Fluffy
also love
Coke.
Coca-Cola. So let me just hold on. It's supposed to be an improvement on the dirty soda, which I don't even know what dirty soda is. So let's learn together.
Okay.
Coca-Cola has been, of course, wildly popular for over 100 years. So it probably doesn't need a TikTok hack to improve it, right? Coke is good on its own.
Yep.
But
Yep.
these two women are going viral for sharing their so-called fluffy Coke, which is a spin on the previous Coke, like cola and cream trends. And that's called dirty soda, I guess, or pilk.
Okay.
I don't
Pilk.
know.
That's a
Anyway,
different thing. I think that has to do with milk and pop. But
okay.
dirty soda
So
is again a cola and cream combination.
this is fluffy. Yeah. So this is fluffy Coke, and you take marshmallow fluff, and it has to be fluff and not cream.
Hmm.
Marshmallow fluff. Line your glass with it, so the whole glass is coated with marshmallow fluff. Put it
Okay.
in. Put ice in it, and it's supposed to be the good ice. And if you know, you know on the good ice. It's like the pellet ice.
Hmm.
You put that kind of ice in. So
The
you
kind
have
you
to
get at
kind of have a
Taco
special
Time
ice.
locally. Yeah.
You have to have a special ice maker for that at home.
So
Uh,
I'm just trying to keep up here. So you slather marshmallow fluff specifically all around the inside of a glass. You add ice, pour it now, you pour the
Good
can of Coke
ice.
inside.
And then you put the Coke inside, and then you drink it through a straw. And it's important to get some of like you drink it through a straw so you don't get the marshmallow stash.
The
But
fluffy
you also
stash.
can
Okay.
you can also scrape your straw, use your straw to scrape the sides to get the fluff out. You can use any kind of cola you want, apparently. You could use Dr. Pepper if you want.
And it
There you
says you need
go.
to use marshmallow fluff for sure. Now
I'm gonna
I'm not
try
gonna
it.
knock this because I haven't tried it, right? But when you were watching the video, this sounds like down home country idea because the girls were like, First, you take the marshmallow
Well,
fluff.
one of them was a grandma, and it was like she was way too over the top for me. Like, I don't like fake. Like, I just don't like the fake stuff.
I don't think that's probably really the way that she is.
No way. Then she was drunk.
Well, not to be devil's advocate here, but there are people that are like, there's no way that Jim Pirak is that happy all the time. And if they
Okay.
called you fake, I'd defend you the same way. You are that peppy and happy all the time.
Okay. Well, I just thought
Regardless,
that it was a little over, like the way that she was saying, like, I don't know. You can watch the
you
video.
want to make your fluffy Coke, you gotta have the marshmallow
It was
fluff.
weird. It was a little weird. Anyway, if you ate like I did over the weekend, you probably weigh more today than you did on Friday.
You probably weigh more today than you did on Friday. And there's some science behind this too, right? If you weigh yourself
Probably you
every
too,
day,
Curt, by the way, because you've
oh,
been
I'm
partying it
sure. I'm
up.
sure of it. That burrito last night alone. If you weigh yourself every day, you might want to chill out on that. It says because experts say weekly weigh-ins are better. It prevents you from becoming too obsessed. And I've done this too, by the way, when I was on, weight loss regimens and stuff like that. Everyone's weight varies from day to day. That's normal. On average, it fluctuates 0.35%. So about a third, right? Not a whole third. No, that's a
Point three
0.35% is
point.
very
There's a
little,
point in there. Yeah.
right? We tend to weigh more on Mondays right after the weekend. Makes total sense.
Well, it's funny because some of what your weight fluctuates based on these things. And I too was on some weight loss programs back when we were in radio, Curt.
The olden days.
Like well, they were just, endorsements, right? Because the weight loss people wanted talent to do this.
You're not talking
Um,
about Halo Top, are you?
no, that wasn't weight loss. Mm-mm.
But Halo Top was something that you want like a year's supply or something of Halo Top ice cream.
Well, yes, it was a contest, but if you're weighing yourself, like I think that this is confusing because there are people that say you should weigh yourself every day, like weigh yourself every day in the morning. And these people are saying do it only once a week because your
Right.
weight fluctuates so much based on how hydrated you are, the type of food you ate the night before, how much food you ate,
Number
of
four,
course, your bowel movements. Like I
that's the
remember weighing
one.
in and I'd be like, I'm gonna pee and I'm gonna poop before I weigh myself so
Exactly.
that I can show a loss.
So then here's the question. Um, how much weight do you think you lose after a good old BM?
I don't even know how much.
I don't know, but I'm wondering if it's like
The
pounds. That would
average
be
the average
bizarre.
the average person weighs a quarter of a pound to a full pound less when they walk out of the bathroom, Curt.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it can make a difference. Of course it can, because you're getting rid of something that was in your body.
Well, then it sounds to me like if you want to lose weight, you need to poo a lot more.
Well, you should poo on a
Why does it
regular.
work that way?
Exercise,
Exercise,
how
yeah, is
much you've
also part of it.
exercised because of the whole water weight thing. Of course, hormonal changes, which is huge for me right now, and I'm hating it so much.
Hmm. So
Anyway, there's
again,
lots of
experts are saying,
factors. Here's the deal. Get yourself to a place that you love, and that's what I'm struggling with, right? Like just like be strong. The scale doesn't matter as much as long as you're, feeling fit, eating healthy, and
right.
you're hopefully creating some happiness for yourself around those things.
Well, you beat yourself up too much about that, but yeah, that's a good thing to stick with. But just so everybody knows, I can't say anything about Jen without getting a, are you calling me fat?
That's our
No.
joke. Like anything. I'm like, you're calling me
It's
fat,
a
aren't you?
joke until the times you say, are you really calling me fat? It's like, no, no. Let's get to the Summer Olympics. And
Yeah.
this is Friday when the Summer Olympics start, right?
Yeah.
We've
Opening
got
ceremonies Friday.
one new sport and two new events at least.
What does that
Usually
even
a big
mean?
deal.
I don't even know the difference. Like what's a new event versus a new
Well, a new
sport?
event is an event, maybe the sport was already an Olympic event, and now within that sport or that event, they're having a new. Well, we'll get to it in a second. It'll
Okay.
all be
Okay.
explained.
Tell
But
me
the
more.
what everybody's talking about is the fact that they're having breakdancing now is an Olympic sport, which I
I
think,
like it.
I'll give you the percentages first. The question is and should Olympic breakdancing be an Olympic sport? Is it
They're calling it
worthy of the Olympics?
breaking, by the way. It's just called breaking.
Yeah, not the breaking is what they're calling it. So the poll found about 2 in 10 people strongly approve of breakdancing in the Olympics. Another 20% somewhat approve. So 40% altogether on the plus side, and then about overall 31% are like, no, no, it's not a sport.
And another third
Another
of
third are
people.
not sure. You got to throw in the not sure thing as well. But I am with I mean, you know what? Regular dancing isn't even an Olympic sport. you know. It's I looked that up, and there's not like a dance,
Like
you know,
ball
there's
dancing isn't?
well, and I could be wrong, so don't beat me up if that's the case. But you know, they've got the in the Winter Olympics, they've got the
Ice
skating,
dancing, ice
yeah, ice
dancing.
dancing. That's what it is, right? But there is not a dancing category for the Olympics yet until now, and they decided to go first with breakdancing, which to me is still like I mean, kind of a joke from the '80s. Remember what was that movie Breakin'? And then there was Breakin' 2.
Yeah, and I just looked up about ball dancing because that seems like that's a to me a very formally trained kind of dance, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's not yet. It's not from lack of trying though. They're trying to make it an Olympic sport, but okay, all right.
So how
I'm
could
on board. I think
breakdancing,
it'll be entertaining.
well, it would be entertaining without a doubt. Do they do it outside on concrete with a, they used to use like cardboard, big
Yeah.
cardboard boxes flattened out to do their moves on. So you've got that. And then the two new events are kiteboarding and kayak cross. So kayak and canoe races are already Olympic sports. The kayak cross race is new, and it's the first time that kayakers will be competing against each other instead of the clock. So I guess it's a person to person. I mean, I don't know if there's a bunch of racers at the same time or how many can you fit, you know, going through the rapids. I don't know. But so kayak cross is a new event in the Olympics, and kiteboarding, you know,
Yeah,
um,
interesting.
sailing
Huh.
has been an Olympic sport for like 100 years or so. World Sailing announced that kiteboarding is going to be one of the 10 sailing events at the Olympics for the first time in 2024. So they put their kites up there, they get it caught in the wind, they hold onto the handle for dear life,
Dear
and
life
they
is
maneuver
right.
through courses in a racing format. So maybe it's kind of like a slalom. I don't know, but
Here's
uh, yeah.
here's something that I really love about the Olympics that I just found out.
What's
And I
that?
didn't even know that this was the word that went with this, but there's gender parity, which means there's equal number of female and male athletes for the first time ever in the largest sporting event in the world. There's
Fantastic.
there's a total of 10,500 athletes that are going to participate, and half of those are female. That's good.
Awesome.
I just think that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
And it's the way it should be, in my opinion.
It should be in everybody's opinion. I'm going to go out and say that. How's that?
Okay.
In everybody's opinion. Our topic from Friday was, we wanted you to fill in the blank on this. Thank goodness it's summertime because now I can blank. Fill in the blank there. Thank goodness it's summertime because now I can blank. And if I had to say, I mean, we didn't talk about this, but if I had to say, you know what we like to do is uh, get up early still, even though I'm not doing the morning show. Dana and myself will get up early and we will have a coffee sitting out in the back porch. Maybe it's 5:36 in the morning. And you know, got the coffee going, and the of course the water features running in the background, and you know, and as the sun comes up, it's just really nice.
Enjoy the
So
sunrise.
that's a favorite summer activity right there. How about you?
Well, mine would be that because now I can maybe go on Kurt's boat.
Boat, yes, and boating, of course, you know, although we can be on that boat year round, you know,
Brother, I
it's got a
know.
heated cabin and everything,
I
but
understand
summertime
that,
is
but
the
do
time.
you know, like the best chance I have of going out on your boat is in the summertime.
You're right. We'll go out this week, okay?
In all seriousness, I mean, I do, you know how much I love being on the water. Like it is my happy place. I love being
Mhm.
on a lake. So it's being able to, have those opportunities to go out on the lake, number one. And number two, which you're going to find is a theme in some of the people that answered this, is fresh berries. I love eating like the fresh fruit and vegetables
Mhm.
that you get in the summertime. I love it.
And
And
those
I
little
love just
stands
being
that,
outside. I love the sunshine. I love the warm sunshine on my skin. I love it.
those you get those fruit stands that pop up on the side of the
Yeah.
road selling either cherries
Yeah.
or whatnot. So that's a good summertime thing too. So so we asked you to fill in a blank, and thank you for chiming in. Marilyn said, finally after retirement, I'm now able to garden more. So she gardening in the summer is her favorite summer activity.
I feel like we should save John's for last because I thought it was kind of
Okay.
funny.
All
Carrie
right.
said being outside on my back patio with friends, and Ina said spending time with Bree, who I know is her daughter, who is home
Yeah.
from college.
Becky said, I get to go to Grand Coulee and hang out at the beach at Lake Roosevelt. That's her happy place.
Yep. Laurel said her husband Steve and she get to spend time with friends at Mill Creek on Wednesday out at the Wednesday concerts. Oh, you
Oh,
were telling me about
yeah.
this too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Under our pergola in our backyard with friends and neighbors with good food and drinks. They also like doing that. So,
That is a lot of stuff, and that's all accurate. We're gonna go back to John now. John, his answer to the question, "Summertime is here now. Finally, I can brown my flab." Some people would call that tanning, but he gets to brown his flab. Brown fat looks so much better than white fat or pale fat, I guess.
you know what? I think we missed a few comments because I know that like I think it was Jennifer and Janet, the sisters that listen. We love that you guys, all of you. We love that you listen so much. Their big thing was fresh fruit. I know I read that somewhere, and I don't know why our little search didn't pick that up. But there was a lot of people that were saying I get to eat the fresh berries, like so good in the summertime. I got a
And
box
you,
of peaches from Costco, and they're so yummy.
you can still, yeah, let us know as well if you want to answer that question. It is up and available for you on all of our platforms. I want to throw in this public service announcement here, or this
Okay.
notice. If you live in the Granite Falls area and your boyfriend is in Cedro Woolley, how is that's reasonably close to Granite Falls, right?
I mean, I guess kind of.
They're both kind of deep, but
Yeah.
what would you say? Granite Falls is about, well, I mean, from Seattle, it's about maybe an hour.
What is
No,
it? What does this have to do with Cedar Woolley? I'm anxious to know what's going
well,
on.
I'm just trying to get a position for the town. There was an
Oh,
escaped pet lizard named Taz. Okay, this lizard who lived in Granite Falls with his family. His name is Taz, and he escaped. And people saw him. He was big enough that they thought it was a 10-foot long alligator. All right. People are like calling the cops. There's an alligator. There's an alligator in Granite Falls.
no way.
So and they named him the Gator of Granite, the Gator of Granite. But
Oh my
the news
God.
is after the town of Granite Falls was on high alert Friday afternoon, the police even posted a photo of Taz, who they thought was a 10-foot long alligator. No, he's a lizard and he is a pet and he has been found and returned.
Do we know where he was found? No.
No,
Okay.
don't.
Great.
I'm just
All
going on what I
right.
know here. So if you were in Granite Falls and you were concerned about being eaten by an alligator, you don't have to worry about that now.
All right. We talked about weight and we talked about like
Food and
fluffy,
marshmallow
fluffy
fluff.
Coke. Yeah. And
Right.
bad cereal for us. Now we're going to talk about fast food. And it's really for
Uh,
tomorrow too, because we want you to weigh in on this because there is one for me that is missing on this list.
okay, this is from USA Today. They asked their readers to vote on their favorite fast food joints, and we're gonna go ahead and give you the 10 that came in the top 10, and we'll save number one for last. We'll go in reverse order. So a
Okay.
10, and this is again the favorite fast food joints according to USA Today. What they asked.
Number
Number
10
10.
is what had everybody up in arms because they can't even believe that this one made the top 10 with others not.
Well, it's Arby's, and
Yum.
for some reason Arby's gets a bad rap. I don't know why. I mean,
I don't
maybe
either.
to me they're roast beef sandwiches and chicken sandwiches. But
Delicious.
yeah, for some reason they have become the butt of jokes. Certainly with Jon Stewart, he always uses Arby's as the thing.
I forgot to tell you this, Curt, since we're talking about Arby's. You know,
Mhm.
Taryn, who I used to work with,
Right?
she knows how much I love these. I was so mad when Arby's took away the potato cakes. They're the little triangle potatoes. They're bringing them back.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe that's why I got to number 10 on the list. Oh yeah, by the way, Jen, as a joke, put a bunch of Arby's horsey sauce in little packets all around my truck one day. I'm still finding them now. They're not open, thank you very much. If you'd open them, they'd be stinky.
It's
So
because they gave us a full bag of them because I didn't get them last time. And you're like, can you please give us a full bag of horsey sauce because you didn't give it to us last time? And they did. And so I'm like, Curt, I only needed two. Now you get the
I was
rest.
just trying to cover all the
Okay.
bases there.
Number 10 is
Number
Arby's.
9 on this list is Zaxby's. Have you heard of
Nope.
Zaxby's?
Nope.
Okay. 8 was Popeyes.
Have
That's the
heard of
fried
that
chicken
chicken.
chain from the South. Taco Bell was number 7. Captain D's. Do you know Captain
No,
D's?
I was going to ask you about that. Do you know? I was going to ask you about actually number 6 and number 5. Do you know?
Well, Captain D's is seafood. I mean, I've never been there, but it says there's about 500 locations in 22 states. So, yeah, it's a seafood place. I guess kind of like a Long John Silver's, which is also not
Southeastern
in the
states.
Seattle
Okay.
area,
Captain
right?
D's is in Southeastern states. That's
Okay.
why. All right.
Number 5 is Hardee's, which essentially is um the same as what is it? There's one. And people are like, I know what it is. There's one up in by in Tulalip. It's uh they've got this. Why can't I think of it?
So
Let's
you've eaten at Hardee's before?
Yeah, that's they have those in the Midwest. It's, it was one of the big three or
Is it
whatever.
a burger place?
Hmm. Why
Is
can't
it
I think
like
of it?
is
See,
it like
it's early.
Herfe's? Herfe's?
I will tell you exactly what it's like because it is the same as I
What the
can't,
hell? Okay, you think about that.
I'll
Number
come
four
back
is
to it. I mean,
In-N-Out, of course. That does not surprise me. In-N-Out
right.
burger, which is delicious to me. Chick-fil-A, number three, also strong. KFC is number two. And the number one, I don't know why this surprises me so much, but it's Del Taco.
Is that a California thing?
No,
Del
they're
Taco?
here. They're here. Del
Where?
Taco's here.
Oh, in Seattle. Sorry. I'm San Diego right now.
Yeah,
Um I've never had a Del Taco.
I have.
And
Eh. I
eh,
mean, I'm going to tell you, we're asking you guys what's missing on this list. Obviously, and I'm anxious to see if any of you vote for this one when we put it on Facebook. Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, and Subway. Where are those?
that is surprising. I don't know how they could do this without maybe people thought that that was uh to Carl's Jr. Thank you. Sorry.
Carl's Jr. It's like
Hardee's and Carl's Jr. are like identical. So if you've had Carl's Jr., it's like a Hardee's, but for some reason it's a different
Carl's
name.
Jr. Would you say Carl's Jr. is also like Sonic?
I don't know. I thought Sonic was more of a quick, fast drive-through place, and I mean they're all drive-through places, but
Yeah, they're all fast food. Sonic,
but
I think, is the one where you drive in and you park kind of like Burger Master around here.
right, yes, and then they maybe have the people. They're not on skates, but they bring out the food to
But
you.
here's the thing, if you live in the Pacific Northwest and you don't put Taco Time on your list for the
Hmm.
favorites, what?
Taco
That's
time. You know what?
mine.
I'm not sure, but see, that's also when. How do you define fast food? Because I mean, yes, they've got a drive-through,
Taco
but
Time is for sure fast food.
That's what I'm saying. That they have a drive-through, but it's also, I don't know. For some reason, Taco Time seems like a step up from the Taco Bells of the world.
That's because it's way more than a step up. It's like 100 steps up, Curt.
Okay, well, guess what? Taco Bell is drive-through Mexican. Taco Time is drive-through Mexican. So what makes for the difference? Oh, they also, by the way, Taco Time is the only place that I know that has the little pellet ice that you're talking about earlier for the marshmallow fluff thing with the Coke, right?
Well, so does my friend Carrie and Randy, who have an ice maker
Oh my
sitting on their
goodness.
counter.
They
So
have
I'm
an
going
ice,
there.
they have a special ice making machine for the pellet ice.
Yeah, well, Carrie loves making cocktails. It's great cocktail ice. I
Okay, all
think.
right.
Actually, she would disagree because it makes it too watery. That's a whole different subject. Please, on Facebook, weigh in your favorite fast food restaurant. What is
Mhm.
missing off that list?
And if you want to say Wendy's, if you want to say McDonald's or Burger King or Subway, feel free. I'm really surprised that it seems like they might have said don't include these because they're the biggies, obviously. But how could they not be? But how could McDonald's not top Zaxby's?
I don't know,
Zaxby.
but In-N-Out tops McDonald's, and I really love my McDonald's French fries, but I would say In-N-Out's has a pretty good burger.
I was disappointed. I heard about these In-N-Out burgers my whole life, and I finally there's one in well, they're all over the place, but the one we were in Vegas, and I was like, oh, there's an In-N-Out burger. I want to try this thing, and it was honestly, it was meh, all right.
Excuse
Bless you.
me. Thank you.
I was expecting like a life-altering experience, and it was not that. But they do take care of their employees. I know that they, and they do I've read many articles on, and I think it's still the one of the members of the family that started it is still like the
I don't know enough about In-N-Out. You know way more than I do. We just want to know
I
what
just
you like fast food wise. That's it. And I'm
there
going
you
to
go.
post it. And
Mhm.
you got to go because you got to go catch a flight. And I wish you safe travels.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to safe travels and back home for we won't have to do this on Zoom. We'll be in person, in
We will
person
tomorrow. That's
tomorrow.
right.
So yes,
Actually,
thank
we might not be. I have to talk to you about that. That's a for
you.
we'll let you know.
Oh.
Have a great day and like a great kickoff to your week. Make good
Yeah.
choices, find joy, and spread that kindness all around.